What if I told you that one of the world's oldest and most revered texts might contain a hidden mathematical code, a pattern, just waiting in plain sight for centuries to be discovered? All right, so check this out. It all starts with this number, 777,777. I mean, look at it, a perfect repeating sequence. Now the real question is, where on earth does a pattern this specific come from? Well, it's not a phone number, and it's not a lottery ticket. According to one really fascinating numerical analysis, this number, it actually emerges directly from the pages of the Quran. So how in the world do you get from a 1,400-year-old book to a number like 777777? To even begin to understand that, we first have to get into the mindset. We have to unlock a key concept behind this whole idea. The entire approach is based on a practice called tadabbur. Now, this isn't just about casually reading the words. It's more like being a detective, a deep, reflective search for hidden layers and connections that you wouldn't see on a first pass. And this right here, this is our ground zero. This is the verse where it all begins. It's from the 15th chapter of the Quran, verse 87. And the two phrases you really got to lock in on are 7 of the often repeated and the Great Quran. They are the absolute keys to this whole puzzle. So what exactly are these 7 often repeated verses? In Arabic, the term is al-Mathani, and it's widely understood that this is talking about Surah al-Fatiha, the very first chapter of the Quran. It's so fundamental that it's often called the mother of the book, and it's recited in every single daily prayer. It's kind of a big deal. Okay, so you with me? We've got the mindset, tadabbur, and we've got our main clue, the verse. We now have all the pieces we need. So let's get to the fun part and actually walk through the math to see how this thing is built. The very first piece of our mathematical puzzle is this specific number, 15,873. And I know what you're thinking, okay, that looks totally random, but trust me, where it comes from is anything but. So how do they get this number? Well, it's pulled directly from the verse's address inside the Quran. The 15 stands for the chapter number. The 87 stands for the verse number. And the 3, that's because the Arabic word for 7 is the third word in that verse. You literally just put them all together and you get 15873. Pretty wild, right? Now, remember, the verse specifically mentions 7 of the often repeated verses. So let's take our number 15873 and multiply it by 7. What do you get? You get this, an incredible string of 6 ones. 1111111. I mean, already, that's pretty amazing. But it doesn't stop there. The interpretation then suggests you multiply by 7 one more time, maybe to symbolize the completeness of those 7 verses. And when you do that, boom, there it is, 777777, the exact number we started with. The entire Luke closes. And if you thought that was it, there's another layer. In a specific, very common printed edition of the Quran, that same chapter, Al-Hijj, runs from page 262 to 267. So what happens if you add up all those page numbers? You get 1,587. Sound familiar? It's the first 4 digits of our key number. It's like a link between the verse's meaning and the physical structure of the book itself. Okay, so the math is mind-bending, for sure. But so what? What does it all mean? Well, this leads us to this bigger idea, a concept that proponents call the ultimate connection. The ultimate connection is basically the belief that these numerical patterns aren't just cool coincidences. They're seen as pointers, as intentional signs, showing a profound relationship between all the different parts of the Quran, connecting a single verse to a chapter, and that chapter to the entire text. So let's go back to our source first for a second. It really has 2 halves, right? You've got the 7 often repeated, which represents the part, Surah al-Fatiha. And then you've got the Great Quran, representing the whole. The argument here is that this one verse numerically connects the part to the whole. We already know the first phrase is tied to our number, 15873. Well, the second phrase is tied to a different number, but one that's incredibly similar. And that second number is 15,876. Now, where does it come from? You probably guessed it, the exact same logic. The phrase "and the Quran" is the 6th word in that verse. So you have chapter 15, verse 87, word position 6. 1587-6. It's like the verse itself encodes both numbers, sitting right there, side by side. What's really neat is that this second number, 15876, has its own unique mathematical properties. It's a perfect square, 126 times 126. It's also 27 to the power of 4. Now, according to the source, that number 27 could even be symbolic, maybe representing repetition or multiplicity in a text that's meant to be studied again and again.
So, we've gone through all these intricate calculations and interconnected numbers, but let's zoom out. What's the big picture here? Why does finding these patterns even matter to the people who study them?
Well, it comes down to a few key things. For some, patterns like these are seen as evidence of divine design, like a kind of author's signature, proving the Quran couldn't be human-made. The number 7 itself is also super symbolic, often representing completeness in Islamic tradition. Discoveries like this are also meant to inspire more of that deep reflection, that tadabbur we talked about. And honestly, for a lot of people, it just creates this powerful sense of awe that can really strengthen their faith.
But it is so important to put all of this into perspective. The very source that this analysis comes from ends with a crucial point. As fascinating as these numerical patterns might be, the Quran's ultimate purpose isn't to be a math puzzle. Its primary job, its core significance, lies in its spiritual and moral guidance for how to live your life. And that kind of leaves us with a final, much bigger question to think about. What does it mean for any sacred text to hold hidden layers of meaning, whether they're numerical or symbolic? It's a question that really gets to the heart of faith itself and our own deep search for meaning in ancient words.